America's Heartland is made possible by Farm Credit, financing agriculture and rural America since 1916. Farm Credit is cooperatively owned by America's farmers and ranchers. Learn more at farmcredit.com. The United Soybean Board, whose Common Ground program creates conversations to help consumers get the facts about farming and food. There's more at findourcommonground.com. The American Farm Bureau Foundation for Agriculture, dedicated to building greater awareness and understanding of agriculture through education and engagement. More information at agfoundation.org. The Fund for Agriculture Education, a fund created by KVIE to support America's Heartland programming. Contributors include the following.
I'm Rob Stewart. Coming up, we're in the heart of New Orleans in one of the most popular grocery stores. And wait till you see where this basil came from, what it's being used for, and exactly how it was grown. It's on the Rooftop.
Hi, I'm Sarah Gardner. Do you know what's in cow poop besides digested food? Power. Coming up, I'll introduce you to a Wisconsin dairy farm family who's turning waste from their cows into electricity for their farm.
Hi, I'm Sharon Vaknin. Tall, green, and stately, asparagus has long been a popular vegetable for special dining occasions. Today we're serving up a few asparagus recipes that will wow the guests at your next dinner party.
Hi, I'm Jason Schultz. Do you like blueberries? Coming up, I'll take you to Florida to meet a farm family that grows these bundles of blue, sweet goodness with a focus on environmental sustainability. It's all coming up on America's Heartland.
You can see it in the eyes of every woman and man in America's heartland, living close to the land. There's a love for the country and a pride in the brand in America's heartland, living close to the land.
When you get home from the grocery store and you open that clamshell of blueberries and you see the blue goodness inside, how do you know what you're getting is quality? Well, there are farm families at the other side of the process where they're grown to ensure that.
2 days they'll be in New York, and 3 days they'll be on a store shelf somewhere.
The blueberries are on the move this morning at the William G. Rowe & Sons packing house not far from Orlando. And they'll keep moving through a short 6-week blueberry season in Florida, where the Rowe family will pack more than 1.5 million pounds of these tiny bundles of dark blue sweetness. At this pace, it's hard to tell who is keeping up with whom, the computerized machines or the workers.
As soon as they're packed, they'll go into the cooler and be put in front of a 35,000 CFM fan. It cools them down in about 45 minutes to room temperature, and they're ready to go out the door.
If that customer out there ever gets their package of blueberries and they say, hey, that feels a little light, you can say, no, hold on now.
We're trying to get within 3 grams of the exact legal requirement for each one of these size clamshells. This machine can do up to 180 cups a minute. We slow it down a little bit to keep it more accurate, and they're tracked back to the grower by barcode, and a little sticker is very efficient. So traceability right back to the field and the day it was harvested is very efficient.
Bill Rowe is the Vice President of Operations for Rowe & Sons. He's the 3rd generation to manage this operation. William G. Rowe started the business in 1927, packing citrus.
My grandfather originally came from upstate New York back in the early 20s. Came down here, started picking fruit, got into the citrus business, and eventually had a packing house.
It's safe to say growing blueberries was not on William G. Rowe's original business plan. But just like their grandfather, the present generation of Rowes have had to innovate and explore new business opportunities like blueberries.
So we went out, we bought a field, we bought the equipment, we converted our packing house over, and boom, the blueberry industry just kind of blew up around us as we were growing up with it.
Now 5 dozen growers from around the region and the Rose grow blueberries to be packaged under several different labels. The Rose grow 18 acres themselves. When you think of blueberries, Florida isn't the first state that comes to mind, but it turns out that the growing season here is perfectly timed.
The blueberry industry now is a year-round industry. The northern hemisphere blueberry market starts in Florida, and it's about a 6 to 8 week season. So we're in a very narrow little patch when there really are no other blueberries in the world that are coming in.
Another not so typical product sowed by the Rose, tangerine juice. Slightly sweeter than orange juice, the juice is sold under the Noble brand. As with many farmers today, the Rose have a greater focus on environmental concerns. In their case, bottling their juices in containers made from corn-based plastics instead of petroleum.
Which means they're completely compostable. If you put them in an active compost pile, in 60 days they're gone.
The Rose are proud to carry on the legacy they inherited from their grandfather. Several Rose serve in the management and daily operation of the business. The latest is Bill's daughter, April. She left her job as an Atlanta investment banker to join the team.
When I started from day one, I knew that they trusted me and I trusted them, and that takes a long time to develop, working for another employer.
A family farming tradition getting sweeter with each generation.
You can call them blueberries, but they are the golden child in the galaxy of fruits and vegetables. Blueberry consumption in the U.S. has more than doubled in the past 15 years, thanks to the health benefits of this sweet and tasty fruit. Blueberries are low in calories, but high in antioxidants, vitamins, minerals, and dietary fiber. And flavor aside, some folks still use the natural dye in blueberries to color textiles.
You hear a lot of people talk about sustainable farming these days, and it means different things to different people. Here at the Crave Brothers Dairy Farm just outside of Madison, Wisconsin, they have an extremely sustainable source of electricity. As long as their cows keep eating, they'll have power for the farm.
Don't let anyone string you along. The power used to make cheese is more than just a drop in the bucket on a dairy farm.
We have a very big electric bill here at the cheese factory and the farm, pumping water, so we use a lot of energy on the farm and the cheese factory.
When electricity bills began running more than $6,000 a month, Crave Brothers Dairy decided to take their cattle waste and convert it to green energy.
The cows produce the manure.
That manure, fermented through the use of enzymes, releases methane gas, which in turn fuels engines that generate electricity.
Green energy is produced here. We offset our electric needs for both our farm, our cheese factory, and in addition would supply enough for about 300 area homes.
The waste to energy process takes place in a large machine called a digester that sits on the Crave Brothers property.
We thought that this made a lot of sense, using our byproducts, using the amount of biosolids we have from the cows and the cheese factory to produce some electricity.
The Craves invested about $4 million in the project, a partnership with Clear Horizons, a Wisconsin company that specializes in green technology. But electricity isn't the only product the digester provides. It also separates the liquids from the remaining solids in the manure, creating a highly nutritious fertilizer.
It's allowed us to be pretty much sustainable from a fertilizer standpoint, to where we've basically eliminated commercial fertilizer purchases on our farm.
The fertilizer is spread on the crops the Craves grow to feed their cattle. The sustainable process allows the Crave Brothers to focus on a product that Wisconsin is well known for, making cheese from pasteurized milk.
It goes into those big vats that hold 25,000 pounds of milk per vat. It's heated up in those vats to about 105 degrees, where we add the rennet that coagulates the milk, turns it into a large mass of almost like yogurt, and then it's cut into the cubes of curds and whey.
George, tell me what happens on the finishing table.
Well, this is where the curds and whey come down out of the cheese vats, and they flow with the whey, which is about 90% of the product is the whey. 10% is just the curd, and then that comes down here, and we drain the whey off of the table here with a screen. You see the screen, it's a big drain, and then the curd is left over, and then from here we load the curd into the mozzarella cooker that melts it to about 120 degrees where it's very pliable, and then we can mold it into the different sizes and shapes of mozzarella that we have the orders for.
How many different types of products do you make?
We make 4 main cheeses. We make fresh mozzarella, mascarpone cream cheese, part skim mozzarella or queso Oaxaca, and then our farmstead signature cheese, Le Fleur Fromage, or French for the Brothers cheese.
So how many pounds of cheese do you turn out, say, in a given week or a month?
Oh, well, let's just say today we're making about 125,000 pounds of milk, and with the yields we get on the cheese this time of year, we'll maybe get a 10.5% yield. Today we'll make close to 14,000 to 15,000 pounds of cheese.
The family's products have won a number of awards, something the brothers hope will inspire the next generation to take over the family business.
That's our goal, is that have any one of the children, herdsman, crop manager, veterinarian, business person, cheese operator, marketing. There's a lot of opportunity here that we've created in this family business.
And a chance to benefit the environment, one ball of mozzarella at a time.
It hasn't been any big master plan over 20 years. It's always what's next? What are we going to try to do in the next 2 or 3 years? What do we need to do next week? And that's how we approach our business.
Cheese has been around for a long, long time. In fact, you'll find pictures of cheese making decorating the walls of early Egyptian architecture. Ever wonder about the most popular variety of cheese? Well, cheddar, named after a village in England, wears the crown. And depending on where you live, that cheddar may be white or yellow. Both are popular in the U.S. and Canada.
I'm Rob Stewart, still ahead on America's Heartland. Just wait till you see where this lettuce is popping up in New Orleans.
Want something special for dinner? This is Sharon Vaknin. How about a tasty and elegant dish with asparagus? That's coming up.
Hi, I'm Paul Robbins, and here's something you may not have known about agriculture. Do you like popcorn as a snack? Boy, a lot of us do, and nutritionists say that popcorn is one of the healthiest snack foods around. It is low in calories, unless you cover it with butter. It's easy to make, and it's a great way to add fiber to your diet. It's also a snack that comes with a long history that includes angry spirits. Historians say that Native American tribes across the Americas were eating popcorn as far back as 2000 BC. In fact, it's believed that the earliest use of wild corn, or maize, involved heating it over a fire. One account, dating back to 1650 BC, tells of Peruvian natives toasting corn over a fire till it burst and then eating that popped corn as a confection. A little science here. Popcorn pops when the moisture inside the kernel expands. The heated starch in the kernel puffs up from the heat, and you have popcorn. As for those angry spirits, well, some accounts claim that certain tribes believed small spirits lived inside the corn and burst out when the ears were exposed to heat. Fast forward to the late 1800s, a fellow named Charles Creters invented the popcorn machine, and by 1893, the snack is a featured food at the Columbian Exposition in Chicago. 2 more things happen that cement popcorn in the snack food stratosphere. Movie theaters begin selling popcorn to patrons who want to munch on something while watching the flicks, and the explosion in microwave sales in the 1970s and 80s meant you could cook up popcorn in just a few minutes. Yeah, suffice it to say, we like our corn. How much? It is estimated that Americans will consume more than 17 billion, with a B, quarts of popcorn each year. Hold the butter, pass the salt.
Asparagus is one of my favorite vegetables, mostly because there are so many ways you can prepare it. Today I'm joined by asparagus farmer Jim Durst of the Durst Family Farms. So when is asparagus in season?
For us, asparagus is in season starting about mid-March, and we usually harvest up until about the 1st of June. And on a normal year, we produce about 50,000 cartons. It's a very labor-intensive crop, so you got to have some help to do it.
Asparagus mostly grown in California?
In the United States. It's also grown in Michigan and Washington and California. Those are the major producing states.
Jim, I'm making a caramelized onion and asparagus tart, and even though it sounds very fancy, it's actually super simple to make. First thing we need to do is slice up all of these onions. Now, because I don't want to cry so much, I'm gonna have you help me out.
Okie doke.
Throw that in there. A couple tablespoons of good old butter. While the onions are cooking, I'll have you prepare the egg layer we'll put on the bottom of the tart. So to do that, we just need to grate all of this Gruyere cheese. Go ahead and crack 1 egg and just scramble it in to make a paste. And while you're doing that, I'll prepare the tart. I like to use puff pastry, it's easy. So I'm going to roll this out so that it's longer and wider. Even though this isn't pretty, that's okay. You need to fold it over the edges anyway. So that will take care of any weird, uneven edges. Now, you can help me spread that cheese mixture across here. So now that the onions are just golden brown.
Starting to soften up.
Yep, they're starting to soften up. We're going to add a couple tablespoons of brown sugar and a couple tablespoons of balsamic vinegar, which gets sweeter as you cook it. Okay, you know the caramelized onions are ready when they really start to stick together. All right, Jim, now we are ready to assemble our tart. We need to spoon over this caramelized onion, get a nice layer of it right there on top of that cheese. So we need to lay across our asparagus. I'm brushing the crust with a little bit of olive oil. But then I'm going to just run my pastry brush across these asparagus so that they don't dry up in the oven. Okay, now we can throw that in the oven at about 375 for 20 to 30 minutes or until that crust puffs up and it's golden. Okay. Jim, what are you preparing today?
Well, I'm kind of what's known as a simple cook. And if you're going to do something where you're grilling or roasting, the larger sizes tend to hold together better. Take a little olive oil. Then you just basically, I just lay them out on the pan.
So we were not even worried about an even layer.
There's no etiquette to any of this, no.
Okay.
Can you just sprinkle a little sea salt, a little salt?
Oh, any pepper? Is pepper okay?
You can put anything on you want.
Great.
And about 350 degrees, and probably takes about 10 minutes and they're done, and they're really nice.
Now that we have that in the oven, let's make my shaved asparagus salad. We're going to take advantage of the tough ends while we shave the asparagus. So I've got my horizontal Y-shaped peeler here, and I'm just going to run that across my asparagus. And you get these beautiful, thin ribbons. While I'm finishing up all of these asparagus, maybe you can help me do our lemon vinaigrette.
Sure.
Yep, the juice of 1 lemon. So let's hit that with a little bit of salt and pepper. Of course, we'll need some olive oil. Let's drizzle that on top of our asparagus ribbons pretty liberally. Sprinkle some shaved almonds. I will finish up the gremolata. Now, a gremolata is a condiment made of a parsley and garlic base. And today I added anchovy to that gremolata. And to finish it, I'm just going to add a little bit of olive oil. I boiled an egg, spoon over that gremolata right on top.
That looks good.
This looks delicious. And the best part is that I just found out it's only 4 calories per spear.
Yeah, it's very high in B vitamin complex. Also has A and K, and it's high in folic acid. Delicious.
4 calories a pop, plus it's this delicious and can be used in so many ways. Asparagus is probably one of my favorite vegetables.
Add asparagus to your favorite food list. It has no fat, no cholesterol, and is low in sodium. Oh, and a couple more food facts about asparagus. It can come in white and purple varieties in addition to green. And while it may not look like it, asparagus is a member of the lily family.
Welcome to New Orleans, Louisiana, where we found the story of two young farmers, entrepreneurs with a very innovative growing method, and also the story of a grocery store willing to take a chance. This is the heart of downtown New Orleans. Construction is booming, buildings standing tall, and towering above all the traffic, the Superdome and City Hall. But look what else is growing high in the sky, a rooftop vertical garden above Rouse's Market in the French Quarter. Jack Trouting is in charge of the Roots on the Rooftops garden at Rouse's. Herbs are everywhere, growing in these aeroponic water towers and being picked, served, and sold right downstairs.
This is the epitome of local. We tracked from rooftop to the produce department at about 100 steps. So we're as local as it gets.
These towers have no soil, just water, which allows the plants to grow faster. Do you plan on this growing, no pun intended, to other stores?
Yeah, we're going to grow up even more. We actually have already put in plans to double the size of this farm. We're looking at a couple of our other locations. Our facility planning for this already would allow us to grow enough vegetables and herbs to support 6 other stores. So we are reducing the refrigeration, the diesel, the transportation of bringing product in from California or from the Northeast coast.
Doug Jacobs and Kevin Morgan Rothschild head up the firm offering the vertical plant production systems. Urban agriculture is their business, and growing new methods of farming is their future. Doug, show me how this tower works, because they're actually growing in air and water, right?
Yeah, so these are vertical aeroponic tower gardens. At the bottom here we have a 20-gallon reservoir. Water is pumped up the center to a rain cap. There's a shower cap with a bunch of holes at the top, and so the water trickles down onto the roots of the plants. So if you pull this plant out here, you see the beautiful white roots, and they're quite literally growing in air.
Doug and Kevin are selling and installing the towers across the country, even in Alaska. And so, how many times a year can you do this system?
With these towers, we can harvest about 12 times a year.
Rouse's brought in the two young farmers, their first big client, to install and plant the garden.
It's incredibly exciting. It's a great start. I couldn't have asked for anything more that Rouse's would get this technology, put it on their roof, start serving the food down in the stores, and then expand upon it.
This is where it all began for Doug and Kevin. Their first test installation of 20 towers at Holly Grove Market and Farm, where their lettuce is sold to locals. So how did you get into all this? Because you just graduated from college.
Yes, I did. Well, I saw a system and I started, I wanted to build my own. I got this manual off the internet and I started, got my friends involved and we started putting together. And then a bit later I met Doug at Tulane through this Social Entrepreneurship Institute, and the rest is history.
And now you guys are full swing in business.
Yes, it is. We got too many projects on our hands.
It's not too bad for a year out of school.
I know.
It's really important for me as a consumer. So much of the stuff you get in the grocery stores is packed unripe. It's shipped across the country in refrigerated trucks, and by the time it gets to you, it's been 2 weeks out of the fields. And stuff like this, and the nutrients kind of degrade over time. This stuff is cut and it's literally in the market within hours.
Back at Rouse's, the lunch crowd is packing in. The hottest item on the menu today, pizza topped with, you guessed it, roof-raised basil.
This is the fastest and freshest pizza. We took a short elevator ride, 90 steps to the department. We've got fresh basil, fresh mozzarella. Yeah, just picked it 2 minutes ago.
All right,
and here it is.
Eat.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
By all means, give it a shot.
That's fresh.
Cheers.
And that's going to do it for us this time. We thank you for traveling the country with us on this edition of America's Heartland. We are always so pleased that you can join us as we travel to find interesting places and fascinating people.
And remember, you can stay in touch with us 24/7. We'll make it easy for you. Just log on to many of your favorite sites or visit americasheartland.org to see videos and stories from all of our shows. We'll see you next time right here in America's Heartland.
You can purchase a DVD or Blu-ray copy of this program. Here's the cost. To order, just visit us online or call 888-814-3923.
You can see it in the eyes of every woman and man in America's heartland, living close to the land. There's a love for the country and a pride in the brand in America's heartland, living close to the land.
America's Heartland is made possible by Farm Credit, financing agriculture and rural America since 1916. Farm Credit is cooperatively owned by America's farmers and ranchers. Learn more at farmcredit.com. The United Soybean Board, whose Common Ground program creates conversations to help consumers get the facts about farming and food. There's more at findourcommonground.com. The American Farm Bureau Foundation for Agriculture, dedicated to building greater awareness and understanding of agriculture through education and engagement. More information at agfoundation.org. The Fund for Agriculture Education, a fund created by KVIE to support America's Heartland programming. Contributors include the following: